Hello, my name's Sam. I'm from the Tor gaming organisation and community, and I'm part of the Valorant group. I thought I'd make a quick video for newcomers and maybe some people who have just played a couple of 100 hours or so in the game, just focusing on gunplay more than anything and how to improve your skills. I'm noticing a lot of new players are coming to the game, not really sort of well known to FPS games, and they're making a lot of sort of rookie mistakes that are affecting their gameplay, and there's a lot of frustration I'm seeing in games where people are like, I've shot him 5 or 6 times and he's not dead, or he's moving and shooting, how's he doing that? So I thought I'd go over this video with you guys to sort of help you take your first steps into how to improve your aim and your shooting. There's a lot of people out there at the moment that are making videos on maps, characters, different spots you can fire arrows in, for example, to reveal an enemy team, which is all great and it's really, really good, don't get me wrong. But if you're new to the game and you're watching these videos and you're not sort of learning the basics behind the shooting, you're missing out on a lot of transferable skills, because obviously maps will change, characters will change, even weapons might change, but the way you shoot and the way your accuracy is transferable for every map, through every character. So it's the first thing, the core to this game really, that you need to learn. So the first thing is crosshair placement. So what I see a lot of you doing, you being new players, obviously experienced players maybe don't do it as much, which might be something that you keep forgetting about. So running around corners, aiming sort of at the floor, maybe a little bit above the floor. I think it's come from big games where you've got to look in the distance and you're putting your gun down so you can see more without your gun being in the way, but you don't want to do that in this game. Always subconsciously be thinking crosshair, head height. The reason for that is, say for example, we've got a corner that we need to check over here. If I'm doing what a lot of new players are doing and aiming down here, either two things going to happen. Either I'm going to snap my crosshair and fire in panic and hit him in the body and have to shoot, or even the leg sometimes, have to shoot 4 or 5 times to kill that person. And obviously if they're aiming at your head and you've hit them 3 times and they've rotated, they can just tap you straight in the head and they've killed you. It doesn't matter the fact that he's only got 20 health left, you're dead and your team's lost one of the members. If you keep it at constant head height, the only movement you've got to do is adjust very, very slightly to the head. Also, for example, you don't know he's here, because obviously I know that person's there, and you're going to check and you see him here. Instead of doing a big movement of this and this to the head, or this, which can be a bit janky when you go into the diagonal because you're affecting 2 axes, you're literally just moving straight lines or thereabouts. If you're a little bit above, doesn't matter too much, or especially if you're a little bit below, because your crosshair, when you're spraying, your ammo go up anyway. So keep your crosshair head height. Just literally go to the practice tool, shoot head height, just keep it at that. It's roughly halfway between doorways. Just keep your aim a little bit higher and you'll get used to it. It's such a good tip. It's the basics of this game that will help you, and you'll notice as well when you are shooting someone, if you're aiming at their head or upper body, it's no longer going to be 5 bullets or 4 bullets and have damaged them loads and haven't killed them. You're going to be killing them. So look at this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If they've got full armor, you've got to kill them, shoot them 5 times in the leg, the chest 4 times, the head once with this gun, twice with other guns. Very, very rarely it's 3 times. If you're aiming at the head, or at least the upper body rather than the legs, you can do a lot more damage and you're going to kill more people. So that's the first tip. Second tip is something called counter strafing. So this is mainly beneficial for when, say for example, right, say this is the site where the start button is. That's where you need to plant the bomb. And your teammates come out and he's been killed by a sniper sitting up in, say, long or heaven or whatever you want to call it. This is his character just camping with a sniper, watching this angle onto the site. All he's got to do is just watch a tiny little bit of here. And if you come out slowly, which a lot of new players do, their teammate will die, and they'll think, okay, well, I can kill this person. I know he's roughly in this direction. They'll slow peek it, so they can stop quicker and shoot. But even if you can do that, that person's still got a massive advantage, because all he's got to do is wait for the tiniest little bit of movement and react. So the only thing being tested there is his reaction speed. You've got your reaction speed, your movement, all to counter that one little movement. So that the way you do it is by counter strafing. So this is basically, imagine when you're shooting, your most accurate standing still, so your movement speed is 0. when you're holding A or D, your movement speed's up to 1. And it's just 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And obviously when you're at 1, you're not accurate. So you've got to find a way to move so you're not an easy target and shoot accurately. And the way you do that is if I'm holding A, I'll move into the left. And then I tap D. See that couple of seconds there where I'm not moving? That's when you're still accurate. So say for example, so I'm constantly moving, and he doesn't have to be back and forth. So if you're the only teammate and you need to get onto this site, it doesn't matter if he's over there, you just need to cross here, because then you can plant, you can wait for him, because then you've got the advantage of watching the corner. So it might just be 1 or 2 shots, it might be a quick, and then you're back onto site. Whereas if you do short peek, stop, shoot, you're on hard target. So if you just move, or if you go hold an A, tap D, then A again. The main thing is though, you sort of moving in and out behind cover. With these big snipers, when they shoot once, you've got all that time to react. But if you're slow peeking, he's not going to miss. A good AWPer, or good operator, sorry, would not miss. So again, just practice that. So just go on the practice tool, put it around about 30, 20 meters. Or even 50 meters if you're feeling confident, and just so even I'm not amazing at it. When you watch pro players or really good players, they'll shoot once and then they'll just be really accurate all within that zone. There won't be any bullets here or here. But obviously it's just practice. I need to practice it myself to get really accurate and elevate my gameplay. But if it's something you don't really know about, you haven't really tried, do give it a go. It does really help. It's so important. So in my mind, the most important is crosshair placement, and then it's counter strafing. And then the third thing is spray control and controlling your gun and the way it shoots. So you can watch loads of videos out there about the different patterns and things that guns do, and a pattern is basically how it goes up to the right, to the left with this gun. But with Valorant, it's not always the same every time. So something you should look at is the weapon. If you are adamant on spraying, I said I don't spray myself that much. I just do control bursts. So I do maximum 5 or 6 bullets per person per spray, and then I've reset my spray if I've missed that much. But getting back into cover and re-peeking, or just stopping, moving a little bit and just resetting it back to how it was originally, because your first couple of bullets are the most accurate. But if you do really want to learn the spray, just come here to the practice tool, 5 meters, hold left click at the bottom, just up to the right, to the left. So obviously you adjust, so if it's going to the right, you aim to the left, bring it back to the middle. So the one thing about Valorant which is different to games like CS is the actual gun moves to the left and to the right, so it gives you a visual indication what it's going to do. So if you just watch the gun, it's doing this little movement. So if I adjust now, so if I'm watching the gun, so every time I saw it move to the right, I moved it to the left. And that's a way to control your spray as well. You can aim down the sight in Valorant as well. Just be a little bit careful with the bulldog, because as I know, as far as I know, it's the only gun that's really heavily affected by aiming down the sight. So you got normal shooting, when you aim down the sight, it becomes burst. But that's all subject to change anyway. But so aiming down the sight, guarding is good as well. If you feel like you struggle to see enemies, that little bit of zoom might help you. I personally don't really aim down the sight because I don't feel like I need to. But I can see where it helps. It's something you have to find yourself. If you prefer holding corners with aim down, please do. I'm just very much used to my movement speed, and when you aim down, mouse sensitivity. But when you aim down, it affects your mouse sensitivity because it's zoomed in more. As preference, it might be something that I change in the future as I get used to the game as well. But spray control is really important. I said with the Vandal and the Phantom, control bursts, reset, practice that, and I promise you'll do a lot better in games. As long as your crosshair placement's there, and then you're not doing slow peeks around corners, you're doing counter strafing. Try mixing it in a little bit, give it a go. And it just gets to the point where you won't even have to focus on it. It will just do it all automatically in the back of your head. You just be doing it. So myself, I never think about crosshair placement now. It's just there. I just know when I start the game, my crosshair's roughly head height, and then it stays there. And obviously, if you think, okay, this is dipping down, so it's no longer here, it's going to be down here. Just adjust for it, and then you're roughly head height. And the last thing I'll talk about is pre-firing. That's basically firing before you're round the corner. Or, say for example, say I've played this map 5 times, for example, and someone's always sat here, or very likely to be sat there. You've got so many different angles to watch with your team, and if you think is there, what I see a lot of people doing is like they know in the back head that someone might be here, so they'll half clear it, so they'll be like this, and then they'll turn so they can see it, and they'll automatically already think, okay, I've checked it. They're not really thinking, okay, someone's there. They're just subconsciously thinking, I'm going to check it. So they'll check it like this, and they'll carry on. But then someone want to be there. The time they've reacted from here down to here, they're dead. And then it's pointless. So if you're sure someone's going to be here, or you're fairly sure, there's no harm in giving it a bit of a pre-fire. So start firing just before the corner, or just as you get around the corner. And if no one's there, no one's there. There are certain circumstances where this can be bad. So if you're sneaking onto the site and you've done a big rotate and you're started firing, and no one's there, you've alerted the whole team that you're coming this way. But in my mind, even if you are sneaking and someone is there and you don't do that and you die, that's no good for your team either. So it might be worth certain spots, just give it a quick pre-fire and then start moving on to site fast. That's another tip as well. Not every time, just only fairly certain. So you've done 3 or 4 rounds of someone's always camping in the same spot, which happens a lot with new players as well. Is they'll pick a spot that works for them, especially on defense. If that new player's been here, so wow, yeah, I've got 2 or 3 kills now, I'm gonna keep going there until it doesn't work. Then you should react to that as well. So just a couple of tips for new players and players who haven't got thousands of hours and already know all this. If you liked it, please leave a like. If you disliked it, please leave a dislike. Leave a comment if you think I've missed anything as well. I can always remake the video with more tips that are really, really important. So I'm not really focusing on maps and callouts and things because they all change. This is just purely on your aim. But if you've got any other tips, anything I've missed, please leave it in the comments. I'll read them all. And I can always remake the video with those and I'll give you credit as well, obviously. If you want to join a group as well that play the game regularly, pretty much every day, and want to take part in competitions, in-house and proper competitions as well, please look at the description or go to tour.net. We're a group of over 2,000 people over loads of different games, but the division we're in is Valorant. We've just spun up and started. There's about 15 of us at the moment, but we're rapidly growing. That's 15 in about 3 days. So the more the merrier. It doesn't matter what time zone you're from or area. If you've got access to the game or you're going to get access to it, feel free to join us. We use TeamSpeak for our comms as well, but go onto the website, have a look at all, and we can put the Discord link in the description as well. Alright, take care, thank you, and see you in game.